Alrighty, here we go. More indoor. Another Lama lab test today on the Neo 2 this time. I've wrangled the Neo 2 back from Von, who's had it with the quick release configuration. So through axle on the Giant, and we're going to head up the Innsbruck climb. So it's Innsbruck day here on Zwift. And I'm thinking 20 minutes, a warm-up plus 20 minutes erg should get us at least to the top and down. So a climb we've done in real life about this time last year. I think Ray and I dropped through Innsbruck on the way back from Eurobike in a very roundabout way, where we went and we rode the climb. And the descent is, I think it's better in real life. It's fast, super fast. Alright, so probably about 45 minutes or so, plus or minus a few percent, as I line everything up. Speaking of lining things up, it's time to get all these computers working. So, ASIO Maduro's XKD2, X Power, and the Neo 2 today. So, 3 sources of power, all recorded on 3 different head units, 1 second recording. Calibration done just before. We'll do another one at 10% or 10 minutes, and we go from there. So this one, I wonder why this wasn't picking up the Neo 2. It's set for the Neo 1. That has a different ant ID. Of course it has a different ant ID. It's a different thing. Alrighty. Yeah, that'd be great. I forgot to put my fan on. Number 2. Is that 2?
1.
Actually, no, that's fine. Actually, that'll work. Yeah, cool. I put the other fan on off to the side, not the Wahoo headwind, because it's right in front and it's on the table that will vibrate this speaker. Microphone. Okay, add sensors 1733. Keep going, keep looking for sensors, come on. Close, still not there. Alright, any questions or any chats, just feel free to plug away in the chat there. I've always had those on the screen as I'm doing these tests. It's always a bit of fun. 1733. Actually, I can verify that on screen here. If we whack the A key, 1733, that's what I'm after. Tax Neo FEC, but I don't want to connect to the FEC of the trainer, just the power source and speed at the same time. So 1733, not the trainer. Add sensor. Power. It's on the old 520. That's why it's taking me a few button clicks to get through rather than the touchscreen. What's on the testing plan today? Standard Lama lab test, which is proving to be pretty rock solid. I haven't put a video up on this one, but if you jump over to GPLama.com, you'll see the results of quite a number of Lama lab tests that I've been doing recently. Still no go on the power channel. Okay, we'll go manual. Sensor details. Now I'm wishing I actually used one of the touch screens. For more details, connect this sensor. Oh, come on! Enable. Wait for it. It's gonna do it. It's gonna do it. Any ideas what Neo 2 is going to bring feature-wise over the Neo 1? Trying to decide whether to pay the extra $500 for the Neo 2, asks Simon. At the moment, don't do it. Go Neo 1. Really. The Neo 2 has the... Well, they've said onboard memory. They haven't done anything with that. It has an onboard cadence sensor, which has proven to be interesting early on. Yeah, but the majority of my testing is still back on the Neo 1. It really is. So, no, I can't think of it. I think what might have happened there is the buyout by Garmin of Tax might have stopped a few development things. May have. Just guessing, but they've not continued on. It may be time for the other head unit to try. I'm not getting my power on this one. And all while my other two Garmins have gone to sleep, because this is pretty boring watching me doing this. What the... Well, if I can't record the data, I'm not doing the test. As simple as that. Veronica, if you're still watching, are you able to drop in a handful of head units on the other table? I'm going to give up on this 520. Brett Dyson asks, more Shimano crank rabbit holes. Brett, I'm done. We are done with Shimano cranks. Done. That's been a year. I was chasing that so hard. I have tested, that's hundreds of hours of stuff. So, GPLama.com, the website has all the details on that one. I haven't done a video just yet on that. Give up on that one. The other ones, if that's alright. Is there others? Yes, thank you. The Neo has blue pants. It does, but it's also I've got trouble with them. Not picking up the Ant power channel, which is what I need. That's pretty much the whole test of today. I need that as the baseline. But yeah, the Shimano. Look, I'll see how that goes over the next day or two, and then I'll do a little video on that. But it's going to be pointing people towards the article that I've written, because it's really hard to put in video, and it's across language barriers as well, because Shimano come out of Japan, so it's easy to write that and have people be able to translate the information. But very interesting stuff. Backed up by Keith Wakeham, one of the inventors of the very products that I'm talking about. Try side table, Von, maybe? Actually, my 1030. It's a problem with GPS is they don't actually have device tracking. We don't know where they are. See? And they're mostly turned off. Oh, what is that hill? 4%.
You can use this one.
Is there one on? Alright. One moment. We'll be back when I have my other units. Actually, I've got a be right back button. Ha! Too quick. 10:30. Found. Tucked away in a drawer, obviously.
What's that one?
8:30. We're good. We're good. I have 3, and one doesn't include this 520. Okay.
You good?
We are good. We are good.
Okay.
Indoor. Sorry about that. We'll get cracking very soon. But yeah, feel free to throw comments in any time. I'm watching the chat while I'm mucking around here with way too many devices. Where are we? Add sensor. Search all. Let's go. Thoughts of the new Super 6? Didn't they bring out one the other month? What was with Cannondale? Like, to be honest, I haven't seen the new Super 6, and at the end of the day, it's a three triangle bike, or 2 triangle bike. It's just with another group set on it. Bikes don't really fascinate me, not unless they're really interesting. It's more the group sets, but there's nothing special on that. I think it was summed up on Reddit with the very first comment with "the crowd goes mild." Show less, show more. Well, at least half my warm-up's going to be done looking for this damn power meter. Let's go manual. I'll go manual mode. So add power sensor. I need a second camera here or a third so you can see me screwing around trying to add things. Plus 1733, done. Let's see what happens there. Stefan, I don't get involved, mate. The tabloid style Facebook channels and all that. Their deal is clicks, hits, emotion, junk, trash mag kind of stuff. Which, if you're a follower of this channel, you know that that's something I try and steer clear of and just keep it about the facts, technology, moving forward. Not keeping anything personal, no personal attacks. Those channels, though, operate in a different realm, and that is, the trash mag style, which works. At the end of the day, that works for media, it works for attention, clicks, views, and in the end, money. I have nothing to gain from getting involved in any of that. Well, 1733. Who's going to win this year's Tour de France? I'm not sure, but we will see them in person though, because we're going to go check out stages 1 and 2 in Belgium. I can't wait for that. So follow along on my Insta and Twitter. I'll do what I can video-wise, but there is a few issues around filming things at the actual tour. 1733. Let me get my head around this again. 1733. I'm not seeing things. 1733. Okay. It's working for that. I am unable to explain why I cannot connect any of my Garmin head units to 1733. I know exactly why. You ready? You ready for the complete I'm a dickhead? I turn these off, other than the FEC stuff. If you remember my video, which I obviously didn't remember my own video, where I switched off these additional channels for better quality signal, I turned this shit off. I'm the idiot. But I needed 10 minutes warm up, so I've got it. Let's get that sorted, I'll show you what I mean. We've got the tax app on here. Hang on. So I'm getting quality data, but I need to connect just to the, no, I don't have the tax app on here. I will install it though, just so you can see what it's about, but let me do that off screen here. Where are we? That's hilarious. You give users too many options and they start screwing around like that. Me being the user who is screwing around. Tax, search, TACX, tax training app. Oh, nice one. If you can see there, Zwift have the keyword tax in the app store there. That's why it's coming up with the word Zwift when I'm searching for tax. Tax utility. I do have it on the phone. Cool. Could not work out why I couldn't get the power channel. Mert asks, how can I be better in Zwift? Well, Zwift is all just power. That's it. Zwift is just power at the moment, so it's all about getting better at putting out the power. And you'll get better at Zwift. Mert uses a digital Cubo B+, but cannot reach 1,000 watts anytime. Yeah, it's not a real power meter, it's a power estimator. So you may not be able to get those watts. Even if you are pushing them out, it may not come up on screen properly. Alrighty, devices. Done. Connected. Testing dashboard. Here's part of most of my day and where the time sync goes to. Why isn't this setting coming up on here? So I'm connected to the Tax Neo over Bluetooth. Sorry, this is probably boring as all hell, but this is... Yeah, welcome to my daily grind of having too many things. There's no update. Check for up. I know there's no new firmware for this thing. The tax training app and see if we have to... There's no configuration option. I hope the music's playing because this is boring as all hell. But it's a good climb nevertheless. Giving up on this for the moment. Let's go back here. Back here. The blue light is off so we can connect to it via something else. Questions anytime too. I'll check the questions quite often. Tax utility. If it's sunny outside, would I still use Zwift? Nope. We'll go outside and ride. If I'm testing something though, I need a controlled environment, I'm indoors. Reading firmwares. Okay, almost there, almost there. Sometimes you cannot find a certain course on Zwift like Innsbruck or the Giro stage. Yeah, they're scheduled by Zwift, you can't choose them. Watopia is always there, and there's also a guest map every day, so if it's not on the calendar, it's not there. I'm not getting the configuration options coming up on screen. Let me try something else. I'm going to be up the top of this KOM before we even start this one. Look at the size of that guy. I'll sit on his wheel, hope he doesn't swing an elbow at me. Or a fist, he's huge. Look at those arms. Hey Lacey, flying! 3.1 watts per kilo. Good stuff. Okay, let's give this a crack now. Manage connections. Tax Neo 2, hello. Virtual climbs. Virtual tech support. Whew. It's all happening. Home. You are not connected to any device. Manage. Am I seriously going to have to pull out my own video to find out how to fix this? Taxa Wahoo Kicker, good question. No real answers on that one, unfortunately. There's a bit of a religious debate over which one's which. For power testing, I am always on this one, the Neo, but it's no angel when it comes to power accuracy, I can confirm. I'm literally watching one of my own videos. That's how much stuff I have going on at the moment. Ha! Ha! It's there. Why isn't it coming up? It's in the app. Okay, here's my theory. And it's complete theory. We'll put it into practice in a moment. I'm guessing if I'm connected via ANT plus FEC to the device, and then I connect over Bluetooth, it's not going to let me change any settings. So what we're going to have to do is, I'm not going to have to stop this session, but I'll just get off the bike just here, unpair everything from the unit, restart, then connect via the app, which I'll do here, and we'll see if that works. If that's the case, that's news to me. First of all, question 833 about Garmin Connect IQ. Sorry, I'm not sure on that one. Any power meters good? Which one should we buy? have a read of GPLama.com today. I've just spun up GPLama.com again, my website, to take a little bit of reliance off this space here, YouTube, which can be taken away at any second in time. So jump over to GPLama.com and have a read of my article there about Shimano-based power meters, and then go from there. But for now, what I'm finding is it's the tech issue. So again, part of problem diagnostics here. What we've got is the Tax Neo 2 set to just amp plus FEC. I haven't got it broadcasting in power or speed or cadence in the legacy or the proprietary amp plus stuff, amp plus private, amp private. I turned those off for a better signal, but now I need those again. Stupid me, didn't re-enable them. I've started the session here trying to record everything, and I can't seem to re-enable that on the Neo 2 whilst it's in action here, connected over amp plus FEC. If you're still with me, let's give it a crack. So my theory is I'll disconnect it from here. So pulling up those, we'll unpair everything. A is the key to get to that. So we've unpaired everything. Oh, we're going to have to give it a nominal power meter, are we? Okay, well I've got some, whoa, 20,000 watts? Not that one. It's my heart rate strap trying to interpret something somewhere. Let's just give it a, we'll pair it to the Asiomas just to do this thing. So the amp plus FEC on the Tax Neo 2 isn't connected to anything. Cool. Phone is what we're after. I'm going to just power cycle the Neo just to be sure. Cool. Lights are flashing. Happy days. We'll jump over to the tax utility app, not the training app because it is in the utility. Boom. We will then connect. Yeah, I just saw that too, Ian. My video says the utility app, but it just wasn't showing up, and especially when it's there sometimes and not others, it's a little confusing. Devices. It's connected to Bluetooth something. So it's not showing up on that screen there. So the trainer has, okay, it's on this phone connected to something. Even though this phone was on the bench, just turned off. Let me, far out. Is Peloton easier than this? Can we just pull a bike out of the box and just ride? I know I'm dicking around with trying to do multiple things, but here we go. Surprise, surprise. We disconnect one Bluetooth and another one comes along. We are here. Now what I expect is, up on screen, once that's connected, green, cool, it's 1733. Now we have device settings. So there we go. Surprise, surprise, you cannot get to these device settings if it's already connected by amp plus FEC to something else. Today I learned. And scrolling down, and there we go. Enable amp plus speed and cadence. 22 minutes later, we can start the Lama lab test. Andrew from Vancouver, Canada. How you doing? How's summer going for you in Canada? I know your winters get absolutely horrendously cold. How about that though? You cannot... Let me just check for firmware updates. Nothing like a Lama lab test with a firmware update that crashes. No. What happened there? Okay, so my theory was good anyway. I had the theory, I executed, I disconnected everything, and that's exactly what was happening. Kind of makes sense, but where's the manual for that? I actually had to watch my own YouTube channel for that. I'll stop ranting, we'll get writing in just a moment. Alrighty. All these other Garmins just gave up the ghost. They're like, I'm not recording anything, I'm just going to turn off. Mert, hoping not to bothering you, Lama. No questions are bother, that's all good. Question is, I need answers. It makes me perfect. Here's my watts per kilo, 3.2. I just want to know, am I in a good place? 3 watts per kilo. Yeah, that's a B grade race. Yeah, that's okay. There's many factors, and this is why coaches charge up to $200 to $300 a month to prescribe personal training and advice and things. It's a hard one. There's no real answers. Mostly science, a lot of art, and a lot of other things. Okay, we have 1733. I'm just making sure we've got all 3 power meters sorted out. What a laugh that was though. Hey, half of my own causing, half of my own connection problems. Boom! Shimano based 2-sided power meter on this one. We have the Asioma Duos on this one, and the one down there is the Neo 2. 3 sources plus Zwift as a backup. Only recording the Neo 2. And systems are go. 5.6 Ks in 20 minutes. Jeez. All right. Now it's time to do the riding. But I forgot to repair the Zwift. Did I mention this stuff's hard? FEC, 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 heart rate strap done. Let's ride. And erg mode, no, sorry, sim mode should kick in now. There we go. Angela watching from New Zealand. How you doing, Angela? Again, how's winter going in New Zealand? I'm sure it's... Actually, you might get some nice crispy mornings over there. Depends on which part of New Zealand you're at, though. We're there. We are there. As with everything, you allocate enough time just to get the ride in, and half of that goes to things that we weren't expecting. I'll drink to that. So, with that warm-up pretty much already done, we can almost kick straight into the Lama lab test. And away we go. -2 in Christchurch. Woof! That's a little chilly. Okay. Typically I do a few little hard efforts at the start just to warm up, but I think 25 minutes of frustration is enough. We'll dish out some ride-ons. Mohawk dude, nice one. Okay. If any time here you have the companion app and you want to see a ride-on coming in game, you can do it on the app there if you're watching live, and it'll pop up on screen here. When did I have my first bike? I've always ridden. My first standard race bike though, that I raced was a giant OCR1. 18 plus now. Hoish! That's warmer than here. Okay. I can talk all day, but let's get the testing underway. So right now we're 25 minutes in. I'm going to zero offset the Asiomas and the XKD power meter. Zero offset's like tear or 0 on a scale. You put a set of scales on the bench and they read a couple of grams, you need to 0 or tear them. Same thing with the power meter, but not the Neo. So with that, you typically don't really need to do this, but I just want to try and make sure everything is lined up. Jump over to GPLama.com if you want to see the results in me lining things up for years or months. Back to that'll be 23, 24. Come on. You can do it. -26. Okay. The number it reads back could be anything. Typically it's 0, could be an error code, could be an OK code, could be the actual torque in real time. There's no real standard of what power meters give you when you hit calibration. This will be 0 when I press calibrate. I'm not having a good morning. Okay, that went to plan. Okay, cool. So what that does, after 10 minutes of warm up, all the temperatures are stabilized here in the room, even with the fan blowing on the power meter. Not quite, though. I make sure that's not in the direct line of sight. Everything's bedded in, even though I changed bikes from trainers. It should be good. I hit lap, which obviously has a spring in it. We have lapped on everything. The DCR Analyzer tool doesn't even worry about laps, which is handy. We can line things up on time and do mouse drag selection, so that's all good. Hopefully you're still with me. If not, you're tuning in right now. I appreciate, I've got 76 viewers. I appreciate people jumping along here on what is my Sunday morning. And it's very cold outside, so we're going to do some testing inside on the Neo 2. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit subscribe to support what I'm up to. If you hit subscribe, it'll pop up there in the little box with a little dancing llama. And I'll just come back into focus a little bit. I'm still out of focus, aren't I? What can I put into focus that will make that work? There's a trick. Something with a lot of texture on it. Unlike my head, doesn't have much texture on it. My thoughts on Chinese frames like the light carbon YouTubers are talking about for crit racing. Nathan, no comment. I don't know the frames. I haven't seen them analysed. If I was to ride one, I'd first have someone like Raul Lucia from Lucia Technic analyse one of those carbon frames for any voids. I'd ask, or I'd want to see the QA, QC process, any strength testing they've gone through. Yeah, for me to be confident, I've broken 4 collarbones, all through my own fault racing and crashing. Last thing you want to do is land on your face, end up with a massive injury through just shit products, to be honest. That's the honest state of it. You can't tell by looking at them. We know that, like with a lot of things. So I'd want to see some certification testing on those, preferably independent testing. But a pretty paint job doesn't mean you're not going to end up dead. So save yourself $500 or be dead. It's not a choice, it's a risk. So I'd have one of them tested and certified first. There we go. Agro works. Just subscribed. Good stuff. But if someone was to grab those, I mean, you can spend hours and hours and hours and days and days and days promoting and selling these things, but if you really want people to believe in what you've got, get it tested, get it certified. You can't dispute data. You can dispute opinion. You can argue thoughts. You cannot dispute data. So grab more data. Speaking of data, GPLama.com. Check out my data collected on the Shimano power meters I've been riding lately. And that is definitely one case and one good example of data. If you were to remove me from that entire picture frame, you remove me from that post, my riding style, which I did, everything, there's still an issue with the data. So, it's a nerd way of looking at things. Show us the data. Alrighty. What did I think of Simon's interview with John Mayfield on the Zwiftcast? All good. All good. Summarised nicely over on, it's on Reddit. Somebody put up a nice summary there of what it was all about. Rowing though? Rowing on Zwift? I'm not sure. It's kind of weird for me. Even the running side of things looks pretty low in participation. But I'm a cyclist. And I've been on the platform as a cyclist. So runners, we don't really see a lot of them. Rowers, is there a big market for that? I don't know. We've got a ton of ideas for other cycling things I would like to see. But, all good. Good insight into the person behind it all. Thibaut Pinot. My opinions are... I don't know, to be honest. I haven't followed him. Okay, halfway up the hill. We will be very much past the bottom of the hill before we get into the overs and unders. But I'm kind of delaying here because I've had a crappy warm-up. But let's do it. Let's do it. Drink first. Tyler, just on the Tax Neo 2 with another power meter, another Shimano-based power meter. Again, more data points. Trying to remove all variables. Change one thing, retest. Change one thing, retest. Change one thing, retest. Today, Neo 2. with exactly the same setup as a few days ago when I used the Neo 1. Best Zwift workout to build strength and endurance for the Revolve 24 event. Doing the full 24 hours. I can confirm for 24 hours you won't require much strength. You won't be pushing on the pedals very hard. 200 watts average, maybe what, 250, 230 watts average. That's not a lot of pressure on the pedals at all. Says me with a heart rate going up, doing the same watts. It's just endurance, just long rides. In the zones that you want to be in for that event. And nutrition. Any longer event, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 24 hours, your bike game has to match your eating game. Vice versa, you know what I mean. Just practice taking in food whilst riding. Some people can't eat on the bike, can't take in gels. If you're going to be riding for 24 hours, you're going to have to. So just get your body ready for all of that. Good night from Germany. Just got back from a party. Was it a techno party? Germans only hold techno parties, don't they? Has to be a techno party. Any tips on fixing a creaking Neo? Low cadence, high watts, asks Brett Stone. Absolutely. I think I even have a video about that. Search up GPLama Tax Neo creaking. Tax Neo solution. The answer is wax-based lubricant. Just spray the crap out of the thing, which is not the best. I'm sure there's a better way, but that's what fixed it for me. This is the Neo 2, it's not creaking. The Neo 1 had a horrible creak to it. Okay, let's get this workout done. E for erg on the keyboard. Lama lab test, we've already done 10 minutes of free ride. We'll jump straight into 200. Here we go. Part techno, C, there you go. I knew it was techno. Straight chain lines. This is pretty much the protocol that I run through of all the tests I've just put up on GPLama.com. So, Lama lab test, making sure I'm in a straight chain line, mid cassette, clean chain, clean cassette. The environment's good here. Everything's been zero offsetted. Recording with 3 similar devices with similar settings. Hands on the bars. Let's get into it. Okay. Give it a second to stabilize because we're going to jump straight to 200. Boom, here we go. So it's 20 minutes steady state. Into a sprint. 4 minutes off. Then some overs and unders. And we're done. Symbols. Hang on. Performance condition, -2. Oh, come on now. They all disagree with what my performance condition is with the Physio Truer on Garmin devices. How is that possible? Alrighty. Let's do it. So the app has changed into workout mode. We can go back to map mode. I can drop some thumbs ups as I go. 26 degrees here, 37 tomorrow. Hell yes. So we'll be landing in Amsterdam next Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, whatever the days end up being. I'm looking forward to the warmer weather. Physiotrop does work for me, but I've got 4 or 5, 6 devices that all want to talk to each other. And I upload 4 times the efforts to Garmin Connect, so my Garmin Connect's a mess. Am I still doing TT races? No, not recently. I have very fond memories of doing a lot of TTs. I think in 1 year, I clocked up 54 time trials. That may sound, someone even called me out on that and said, bullshit. But when there's vets, or open elite which is anyone. There's vets, there's masters. Some events had 2 time trials in a day, and I could drive interstate and do time trials. So yeah, they clocked up pretty quick, but none recently. I did one on Zwift. I didn't know where the finish line was, which I've been told they've fixed that now. Already got a Tula carrier for the bike. Yes, had Tula carriers on the roof for years. Should be on this jersey somewhere actually. There we go. They're big supporters of our team, and still are supporters of what I'm up to, which is good. Never had a broken rib. Never had a broken rib. Unlucky there. Alright, we'll get this balance right. Hands on the bars. And you can see how smooth things are along the bottom there. It's not too bad. A little bit of blue popping up. What's an Australian summer like? Australia is big enough to have everything all at once. Summer in the tropic zones, Cairns, Darwin, Katherine, Northern Australia. Summer is the dry season. No, sorry, summer is the wet season. Winter is the dry season, which is like our summer down here. It's even hard for me to get my head around. So at the moment, they've got great weather up there. Down here, it's pretty crap. Bit of rain. A couple of good clear days, but not all that pleasant outside here. But it really depends. Canberra's super cold because the elevation here in Ballarat's 400 metres. So quite high up. Gets pretty cold. Melbourne's pretty mild. But there's, it's very different all over Australia. It's a bit like the US. Florida's going to be different too. High up there in, what's a state that's up high? Oregon? Very far away. Angela did a Zwift time trial race this morning. It was really good. Awesome. Was it with the start time and the rollout ramp? Let us know how that went if you've used that feature. Little Lama is a trailer for bike rides outside. I'd be too scared to take a kid outside on a bike. On the trails, I think it'll be alright. Vermont, right. Alrighty. All is looking well. So the result of most of these Lama lab tests for the last 12 months are over on GPLama.com. I put up an article yesterday discussing the results of most of these tests. Am I planning to reach level 50 on Zwift? I'm hoping to get there one day. One day. What am I, 26,000 Ks in? Still not there. Now, will I get to the top of the hill and down for the sprint section? That will be interesting. I am jealous of everybody who has summer weather at the moment. For sure. My Insta Live yesterday had the rain here. Terrible. Alrighty. Neo is holding pretty well. So 13 minutes of this. We try and tear the cranks off. Just a little bit. How did I choose the Pro Stealth saddle? As in the width or the type? Width, I went off my sit bones being measured for the Specialized saddles, and I thought, oh, that'll be about the same. How did I choose the type? It was just something different that I wanted to try. Oh, and offered to come over and stay. Mert, was that in Germany? Oh, there's my towel. In the Middle East, there we go, rock and roll. Had some friends living over there for a while. I think it was in Dubai. And they were out super early. Oh, you're in Turkey. Haha, nice one. Steve, not sure if Apple Watch or watches are your thing. Currently have an Apple Watch Series 3, which I'm unimpressed with. Thinking about replacing it with a Forerunner or a Phoenix. Thoughts? I had an Apple Watch and still on my Forerunner. I didn't like the battery life of the Apple Watch. It had the features, phone calls, music, Apple Pay. I think it had Apple Pay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did. I didn't have it on my wrist long enough to really remember much about it. I went back to my 935 Forerunner for the battery life and the ability to record all this crap if I needed to. So for me, the Forerunner as more of a sports watch. The day-to-day though, Apple Watch was handy to unlock my Mac, but that battery life, Brad Wood, thanks for your kind words. Much appreciated. And they're definitely needed with that archway coming up, where I'm going to have to crank out 250 watts now. Eric's asks about the 530. No probs with the 530. Recording data. Haven't done a lot of outside riding with it. Indoors is a data collection point. Yeah, rock solid. Not a real true test though, they're built for outdoors. I'm using it for indoors for now. But now I've got my hands on one, I can cover updates and just the experience when I get outdoors more with it. Forerunner is alerts, notifications, hikes or walks, runs if I ever put one foot in front of the other faster than a walk, and a backup. If Garmin goes flat, Wahoo goes flat. Typically doesn't happen though. You're just waiting for 20 seconds at 450 watts. Yeah, they're the easy ones. They are the easy ones. Okay, now I've got to start working. At least it feels like I'm on a climb now. 50-50 balance. I'd love to see balance on the screen. It's super handy. Heart rate goes up. If you want a fun deep dive, GPLama.com. I've just put up an article about what I've been testing. And the reason why I chuckle is I look down at one of the power meters I'm looking at now. It's the same problem. Same problem. All right. I have to think balanced thoughts. And not look at that other power meter. I peaked. M9 Ingong, I can't pronounce your username, mate. Very good question, very, very good question. I will have a video out in the next 7 hours on that very topic. I haven't filmed it yet. I'll just put that in stone there. It does make a difference. Your crank length settings in your pedals. And your Garmin Edge unit will overwrite the value in your pedals. I have info on the, oh, my steps goal for the day. Good on me. I'm shaking too much. I've covered the Asiomas, the Vector 3s, and the P1s, which are P2s, with a paint job. I think there's about 1.5% difference in 2.5mm crank length. I'm not going to go into too much detail in the video. It's more just an FYI to make sure because there's 2 steps in installing power meter pedals. First of all, putting the pedals on. Secondly, making sure it's just Ming. Okay, cool. Secondly, is to make sure your crank length is correct, because we want accurate data. Oh, struggling now. Does it make any sense to try real world TT races as a first timer if you're in your late 40s? Yes, absolutely. TT's the perfect race for that. It's about benchmarking yourself, testing yourself, bettering yourself, or getting the best out of what you've got. You might not be as fast as you were 5 years ago. If you're faster than 5 weeks ago, happy days. Can I do a follow-up in-depth review of the Edge 830? Yeah, it's on the cards. For sure. I do want to show the screen speeds though. Screen speeds on the 830, very good, very good. The crank length is transmitted from the Edge to the power meter. It is. It overrides and overwrites. To the pedals. So you got to remember that. Switching bikes. And you can set the crank length in the Wahoo Element Companion app. Good question. I will cover that in today's video. On the Edge, you do it on the unit itself, the head unit. On the Wahoos, you do it within the Companion app device profile. That's why I love the comments. I really appreciate those. It gives me ideas for videos and makes sure that I can cover off these exact questions. Ah, Mert. Questions about gearing ratios. That depends. Alrighty, Neil. 830 is garbage. Grab the latest firmware. Unpair everything and repair. Check the show notes for the latest firmware update to, I think it's 3.5. They've resolved all of those Ant plus stack issues. So, Neil, regarding your comment above, give that a shot. Tons of bug updates fixed on the 26th, I think it was. Chris, can I talk about the rabbit hole with the Shimano power meters on the podcast? I will try. This week's podcast will be in person with Ray. Not sure I'll be able to give it the true 2 hours and 35 minutes it needs though for me to explain. We'll give it a shot. SRM have a power meter where you can change crank length. Yeah, that's a really cool little engineering option they've got. I believe the Tax bike has the same sort of setup. Oh, is this over? Gareth, mate, question about doing light reviews. Yes. Do you want another rabbit hole story? At 250 watts? Okay, here I go just quickly. Ant Plus Light Network is a shit of a protocol. It's a standard that only Garmin and Bontrager have correct. C-Sense, with their smart lights, do not support smart lights for both lights. It's only one, the back. I went and bought the Bontrager lights just to prove them wrong in a support ticket. I did. I haven't done a video. I'm a few $100s worse off. I'll do a video soon. But Ant Plus lights are cool. You can press a button, they come on. Press a button, they go off. Both of them, they're Bontrager ones. One of them, if you have a C-Sense set of lights. Yeah. It's pretty disheartening actually, configuring everything. And going, why the hell isn't this front light Ant Plus? Sniffing the packets with a wasp, no Ant Plus, raising a support ticket, being told they don't support Ant Plus. I don't know. Lights soon. They're hard to film though. All right. Yeah, the times of day I go live, I do apologise. It's always a little random, and I am in Australia. Elliot, which bike computer? It's a hard one to answer direct. For me, all of them, because I have very different use cases. But have a look at the important features. List the 5 important things that you need. Make sure the one you're going to purchase is going to do that the best. Screen quality, colors, touchscreen might be something you like. That narrows it down. Good to read in bright sunlight at different angles, if that's an option. That narrows it down. Ease of use for setup, narrows it right down. Me doing a sprint has nothing to do with head units, but let's get one done. Mobile data is turned off just as I'm about to open up a sprint at the wrong cadence. Oh, I spun that out. We'll do another one in a minute. That didn't work too well at all. Navigation-wise, there's no question about it. And again, data, not opinion. Garmin have had many, many years at the navigation game. Wahoo are just getting into the navigation game. Not to say one's any better, much, but there are probably the biggest differences is in the navigation and maps. We'll do another sprint at 2 minutes. That one just spun out way too much. It got me some good data though, it jumped up, but it was a bit too much. And also with navigation, you want a bigger screen. Navigating on really small, it's just horrible. So the 1030 with a bigger screen, the Roam has a bigger screen. The 830 is not bad. It's not a big screen though. 1131, yeah. That was only a spike of 1131 though, it wasn't anything sustained. What did I say, 2 minutes? If I leave it any longer, I'm gonna bash up against those over and unders. So this is free ride. I'm on -6%, I can't sprint on this, we'll wait for it to flatten out. 2. Just want to let 5 seconds or so. Sprints always feel longer in your head though than they really are. 0. Okay, we'll go at the bus stop. I managed to turn the bars. That'll do. Weird readings though. We'll grab that later on from the head units. I don't think there won't be another release after the Rome for a while, I wouldn't think. But who knows, anything could come out Eurobike, but I think they've put a lot into the Rome and it's still being pushed, the features of the Rome. Again, I have another video coming out with a Strava turn by turn on the Rome, which is now live in the public firmware. That sprint was horrible. Could be just my legs. 1180 flat, okay, that's cool. And up ahead is our overs and unders. Now Ming was hanging around for the, was it the 450 or was it Mert? I'll try and be calm and relaxed through those. I've got to be nice and balanced. But they're over so quick. As soon as erg mode stabilizes after the first second or two, it's about 15 seconds of work. Will the Rome become faster with updates? Faster in regards to what aspect? Menus? Maps? I haven't found it too bad, nothing that's frustrated me. But I've also been doing incremental updates as they come out. So it's hard to know if it's going to jump. Speaking of jumping, all right, 350. 350. Nice and balanced. Ugh. There's no doubt the Rome in direct sunlight, side sunlight, is brilliant. You can read it at all angles. The 8:30 the other day, I had my thumbprint on the screen and the sun's really low at the moment. Sort of shining off a little bit. It's not a showstopper, it's just the difference between shiny screens. I don't think shiny screens have a place. The matte screen has it's a really good application for it. All right, 450s. I'm toast, but we'll get them done. Oof. Perfectly balanced. Oh, 1% off. Perfect. Good, good. One more. Done. Whew. All right, sim mode. Here we go. So I usually suffer after, not during those short ones. I wish I'd open up that little hill up there though. Alrighty, questions. Is it worth selling the Bolt and getting the Roam? The Roam is a better Bolt, yeah, for sure. For sure. The Roam does everything the Bolt does with a better screen. Whether you like the form factor or not, that's neither here nor there, but data-wise, there's the Roam there. The screen, actually I might even be able to show you the screen shining. There's a shiny screen on the lights. You can see it glows like a mirror. So if you've got sunlight on your eyes, it really reflects off. But the Roam with the, so you can see that's totally different. It absorbs a lot more light, doesn't reflect it straight off. So that's just a really simple overview of how the gloss affects reading of the screens. Not a big one. We've gotten away this far, and a lot of people do love their edges, but that's one thing on the Roam that I do like, that sort of, it's not a gritty screen, it's just not shiny, it's a bit matte coloured. How does the Sargon hold 1300 watts for 13 seconds? My question is, how does the Sargon only hold 1300 watts for 13 seconds? He'll be able to do a lot more than that fresh. I think that's similar to what Caleb does at the end of a long stage. Sprinting outside is so much better than sprinting inside. There we go, 1185. 204 BPM. No. In a warm-up. So, again, even with putting all this data, lining everything up, trying to do everything perfect, you still get crap like that in the data. It happens. It happens. And drops the power up for no reason. And the thumbs up. Someone from Dome Coffee going for the sprints. That must have been a Perth rider. Gotta be a Perth rider. Alright, let's check for updates on the Roam while I'm here. This will pull down all updates over Wi-Fi, including maps and everything. A rabbit hole of Garmin updates and how they update was on the Fitfile podcast this week, which should be out tomorrow. So listen out for the Fitfile podcast with DC Rainmaker and myself, shooting the breeze with all things tech, and always having a bit of a laugh at the same time. Bosco asks if I ride above my FTP up the hills, will that improve my fitness, or is my body already used to it? Oof. Again, that's one of those $200 a month questions for a coach. It really depends, mate. Yeah, over FTP has its place for sure. A lot of the time you've got to ride over FTP. If you're always doing that though, and you're plateaued with your training and you're doing the same thing over and over, you'll only ever get to where you get to as your body adapts and adjusts. No updates for the Roam. Turn that one off. But you just need to introduce different stimulus to your training and make sure it's the right stimulus if you want to keep rising up. And there's no hassles with not rising up, or no hassles with not increasing your FTP. There is a certain threshold that everyone will get to, and that's all you'll ever get to. And that's cool. And if next month you're down a little bit, that's no stress. Down a little bit more, it doesn't really matter. Not always about FTP. As long as you're happy riding bikes. I think that's pretty much an untapped topic that gets lost and sort of discourages a lot of riders. Because it's all about FTP, Wang. You've got to measure your FTP, you've got to keep rising up your FTP, and it's a shameful thing if you've got to lower it. At the end of the day, just ride bikes. 70 minutes for this lap. Whew. Have we ever noticed the Garmin Explorer reports elevation on Strava? I don't have any Garmin Explorers. And I also don't look too much at elevation. I really don't. Because the elevation, relying on the altimeters in the head units, the recorded elevation can change based on where you have the unit placed on your bike. I've done a video on this maybe a couple of years back, but if you put your Garmin on an out front mount, it'll record a little differently than on your stem, and it records a little differently if it's in your back pocket. And if you cover over the little hole, it records almost the opposite. And then when you upload to Strava, it'll then use the maps and do elevation correction. So it depends where the little hole is on the device, they'll be a little different. If distance was out that much, power, speed, cadence, heart rate, anything else that was recorded was out as much as the altimeter readings from these units, people would be up in arms. They'd be going crazy. But elevation is just one of those things where I think we've just accepted that it's near enough. Can be good. Even you get a massive crosswind in one section, it'll read your elevation differently. Because it's wind pressure. Or air pressure. There's a lot of factors there. It can be good though. It can be good. But if I was Everesting, I'd do the theoretical online somewhere first and just make sure the laps are correct. Then relying on a head unit. One question. Bosco hit a plateau in fitness. Ride the same routes and loops? Yep. I know I need to vary my training to include high intensity. Yeah, for sure. That's if you want to, though. That's what your goals are. If you want to be a better sprinter, you've got to sprint. Better climber, got to climb. Better crit racer, race crits. And focus on the exact demands of those events. But if you're doing sprint intervals and preparing for, say, a 24-hour race, you'll get fitter, and I think everything contributes a little bit to fitness, but specific fitness for your events. There we go. Team Austinbrink. Good comment there. Alrighty. Well, we're done. Those sprints were a little sketchy, but we have the data. The steady state stuff was really good. And we got through the overs and unders. What are we, an hour 8, 25, only 25 Ks. Whew. But if you have any questions, fire away. I appreciate the questions coming through in comments. That's what it's all about for these live streams. Rather than me just crank up the music and burying my head and getting these done, I like to spin these up live stream to see what everyone's up to. Mostly what the weather's about. Do I care to comment on race radios? Yeah, race radios. If you take them away, they'll just communicate in other ways. They'll have people on course with little signs or markers or something. It's the same if when people are saying, let's take power meters away from cycling. Sure, you can take power meters away, it won't change anything. I guarantee you it won't change anything. A good rider knows within probably 10 watts of what they're doing up a hill. They've ridden, like the Tour de France riders, they ride for hours and hours and hours and hours in those zones. They know what those zones are. Power meters don't change the race. People say skybots, but then everyone else has the same technology. Why aren't they Katusha bots or other bots? It's more than just the technology. So same with race radios. I think the team pulled the safety card. Sure, but no amateurs race with radios. So they can't deny technology in the sport and progression. If they do, people go elsewhere. Technology is what keeps this sport moving along. Are we watching guys race 5 gears? And women race 5 gears up mountain passes with shitty brakes and no on-screen telemetry. It'd be fun once or twice, but it's what makes the sport interesting. So they can take a lot away. It'll take the fans away too, if that's what people are watching for. And the whole industry, all of this, Zwift, tax, everything, power meters, head units, everything relies on the pro peloton and technology. I'm not saying it's for everyone, and somebody commented on my in-depth rabbit hole discussion report on Shimano power meters about that, you know, why do we even bother with this crap? This is a joke, blah, 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 and dismissed everything. That's great, but that was also 12 months of my work that I put into that. It was around the goal of disclosing that what we're sold isn't what actually is. That's the problem. It's kind of like saying, look, I didn't have to put a fuel pump up my horse's ass and put fuel in it, but guess what? Times change. You've got to put fuel in your car now. You can ride a horse. That's cool. Ride a horse. But we've got to adopt this and adapt this technology. If not, it'll be adapted and adopted in the wrong ways. Motors in bikes, drugs in veins, the wrong ways. James Timmer RN's right on. James is from down Leongatha way, Gippsland way. Races Masters, does a lot of time trials. Race a lot with James over the years at different events. All right, we'll get to 27 Ks. Is that making me go up the KOM? We'll do a U-turn just after that. Have I ridden the full around the bay before? Yep. Little concern about the Arthur's Seat. Where I didn't do Arthur's Seat in my around the bay. We went past it. Maybe behind, maybe in front, I'm not sure. Arthur's Seat wasn't on the full around the bay. If they've added it, that's pretty cool. It's not that steep. It's not like this. So you'll be fine. All right. Now I'm going to U-turn because I'm not going to go up the hill. Can I do featherweight on the down? So we might get 27 Ks before we will. Geez, those cars move fast. I mean, really. Ready, we'll get run over. Oof. Can I? There we go, creeping in the trees. 27, we are done. Alrighty, that was a bit of fun today, everyone. Thanks for sticking by. We finally got that problem worked out, which was my fault there at the start with the ANT Plus sensors. Let me just stop all of those. And then we had that funny quirk that I couldn't re-enable those ANT Plus sensors whilst it was paired by FEC here to Zwift. Well, I've learnt something new today. And I did promise to do the video on pedals and crank length. So I'm going to go have some lunch. We'll get working on that video. And we'll get that out later on. But in the meantime, if you want to check out GPLama.com, I've just kicked off or restarted GPLama.com to pull things away from YouTube a little bit. And for me to be able to put blog posts up. And it was an important one that I did the other day on the Lama lab test that I've been doing for the last 12 months on Shimano-based power meters. Now that was... El Mascarado Lama lab test on the Durace 4i. Yeah, they're all up there, mate. If it's not the Durace, it's the R8000, and it's 1 for 1. Those things are pretty much the same results. So have a look on GPLama.com for all those results. There are 11 crank sets, 12 data points, and a ton of work, plus some really, really interesting details from a power meter engineer, somebody who has their name on the patent of these exact power meters, who's explained the problem that I'm seeing, why I'm seeing it, and pretty much confirms that it's a bit of a problem for the industry. Now, it's one of these things where it's a bit of a risk me putting that stuff out, but I needed to explain what was going on. Why were these power meters not showing me what I expected? So we have some answers on that now, and I've spent a long time trying to exclude myself. What have I done wrong? What have I stuffed up? Why is it me being the issue? And you can pretty much, with all the data in the report that I've put out there, you can take me out of it, my opinions, and it's all data, and it's all remains the same. So we have some answers on that now, which is good. So jump over to GPLama.com. I may do a bit of a discussion video on that. Might take a while to get through though. But anyway, Fitfile podcast coming out tomorrow, and tonight, as promised, video on these pedals. I'll get onto it right away. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see everyone very soon. Have a good weekend, what's left of it. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, enjoy that summer weather. We'll be there next week. Cheers.